Megamaniacs, you're looking at a Funtastic Fire Orange Nintendo 64. A what now? Well, let me explain. As the Wikipedia page shows here, the Funtastic Color series was a special edition of the Nintendo 64 that came out in several different variants. The first generation had Jungle Green, which most people know from Donkey Kong 64, Fire Orange, which is what I've got here as seen in this picture. Although this is the PAL version, I have the control deck, but not the controller, nor the power supply. But because I bought just the deck by itself, I got a sweetheart deal on it. And I'll show you more about that in just a second here. But the PAL version is probably not appropriate. I'll give you a zoom in on it anyway, just so you can see a little bit better. This is the fullest resolution that I could get on this photo. But that is what we're dealing with here. A special edition Nintendo 64 that they released to boost sales. And these were released in rather short quantities compared to the normal Nintendo 64 control deck, which is why they are so desirable now. I've never even seen this top translucent bottom white variant, but the third Funtastic generation, which is what I believe this one is what I have. The Fire Orange version. Let me zoom in on the box a little. Don't have a separate shot of the unit by itself in the box because this was all that was on the wiki page. But the sweetheart deal that I got, pretty unbelievable. Thanks to a very good friend of mine, you should check out tinyurl.com/fixitphilne. He let me pick up the loose deck from him because he was just trying to get rid of some stuff. So don't assume that you can get the same deal if you contact him. That's not why I'm plugging him. The reason I am plugging him is because he does console repairs. He replaces caps and Sega Game Gears and TurboGrafx 16s and all sorts of good things. So it's definitely worth giving him a look if you want to refurbish an old console. And since I give him a lot of my business, he gave me the opportunity to get this Funtastic Orange N64 in return. Now, it's not cosmetically perfect. It has a few scratches on the inside, but again, given that he gave me a good deal on it, I can hardly complain because anything in better shape would be going for way more, especially if it was complete. And he told me it was tested and working, and the backside of it looks pretty good. I mean, really, the only way you can notice the blemishes is if you're shining a light directly through the translucent color on the top. From the bottom, it's all good to go. From the top, you can see just a couple of cracks, one by the power switch and one over by the slot for the cartridges, but other than that, it's in really great shape. And now I'm going to replace my old Nintendo 64 deck and put this new one where that was. So let's go through that process right now. First thing I had to do was get the expansion pack in here. Had to take it out of my old control deck and put it in the new deck. I tried prying it out with a coin. That didn't work. I finally had to go for a flathead screwdriver. This little one that you see right here was just the right size and had just enough length to torque that expansion pack out. And I put the jumper pack that was in the Funtastic Nintendo 64 right here into the original Nintendo 64 that I was using, just so I don't lose it. You need a jumper pack in there. You always got to have something in there, either the jumper pack or the expansion pack, or your Nintendo 64 is going to have problems. So I put the lid back on with the orange translucent color matching the system. Got the expansion pack in there and we're good to go. Got Nuclear Strike in there, which is a game that uses the expansion pack, so that's a good one to test it with. Got a translucent N64 replacement controller that I bought last year. And now, without further ado, let's make sure this system works. So we've got a bit of a jump cut of here, me setting up the tripod and aiming it at the TV, and then I just flipped the power switch once I had everything in place, and you can see it's detecting the expansion pack, and everything seems to be working the way it should. Lo and behold, my Funtastic Fire Orange Nintendo 64. Now, at some point I need to get a matching controller, but I don't need to worry about the power supply or the expansion pack. I already got those taken care of. And then I'm basically in possession of what I consider to be a full set because I'm not going to worry about having a box to go with it. I'm not going for complete inbox with instruction manual and all that jazz. It's not like I don't already have Nintendo 64 instructions and boxes and all those kinds of things anyway. That stuff takes up space anyway. Having the actual control deck, the Funtastic color, that's really what's key for me here. It's literally nothing but cosmetic, but yet in every way, that cosmetic shell just makes it so cool and so much fun to use just because looking at it each time you take a game out or put it in, you're like, holy shit, it's translucent orange. That is so freaking awesome. It's just one of those things that makes your day. It really is fantastic. They're not lying when they say that. So the bottom line is, these things are kind of stupidly expensive because, like me, everybody wants one. Everybody wants their own favorite color. And I actually had the jungle green one once upon a time and didn't really consider the value of it and let it go on eBay. And I've regretted it ever since that day. Now, thankfully, I've had a chance to redeem that mistake. And even though I don't have the jungle green, Fire Orange is good enough for me. I'm Mr. MegaManFan. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully you learned something about a Nintendo 64 variant you may never have seen or heard of before now. And if you did, leave me a thumbs up. Talk to you later.